send a congressman up there to spend 3 years to learn what needs to be done, or we need to send a man up there who can start immediately and produce results? What do you think?
You.
Graduate, 24 years in the Army. I was an airborne ranger, infantryman. I then went to work on Capitol Hill. I want to tell you, it's really interesting going to work, coming out of the Army, where your word is your bond, take care of your men in selfless service, to where you go up to Washington, and when somebody says something to you, it's something like, "I'll be with you as long as I can." You know, that's the way they talk in Washington. I've heard people say that. So it was a very, very interesting transformation for me to go from the military with its culture to Capitol Hill. And I'll be honest with you, it took some adjustment on my part. Not that I changed my value system, but to understand when somebody said, "I'm going to do A, B, and C," they really meant they might do X, Y, and Z. So, and you learn these kind of things along the way. So I then worked on Capitol Hill for 6 years. I was National Security Advisor for J.C. Watson, Oklahoma, if you know who that is. I then was the Chief of Staff for the 1st District, of course, the famous Henry Brown. Now, after I'd been up in Washington for about 6 years, frankly, I kind of had it up to here. I had the opportunity to come back to South Carolina. I met the president of Charleston Southern University, which is a Christian college, for those of most of you all know that, in Charleston. And for the last 6.5 years, I've been the vice president for advancement. When I drove out, leaving Washington, looking in the rearview mirror, I'm saying to Jan, says, "Well, we'll go back to visit the monuments, but we won't go back for any other reason." Well, I'm now eating those words. I have never run for office before, and never thought I really would, although Doug kind of a couple of times mentioned that I should at some point in time. I said, "No, you're crazy." But what happened was that we ended up electing a Harvard-educated president who doesn't understand the word no. Doesn't understand when the American people say no to socialized medicine. Doesn't understand when we say no that to how you're going to treat terrorists, that they are in fact and that in fact we are in a war. And he doesn't understand when we say no that we have to stop the out-of-control spending. I believe we have one last chance to get it right. I think if we don't start turning this ship around soon, no, I'm not sure we can do that. Now, there's a God in heaven, so there's always hope. But I believe that is what we have to do, and that's why I'm running to try to help turn that ship around. Now, there are 9 candidates. There's some very good people in this race on the Republican side, and I'm not going to just talk about any of them tonight, but the reality is none of them have the experience that I have. What Doug said is absolutely true. You go to work on Capitol Hill as a congressman or as a staffer, you'll really know how to do your job after about 3 years. I don't think we have time to wait to train somebody in this job. I think that's why I'm the most qualified candidate to do this. Now, what do I believe? I believe in free markets. I believe in limited government, and I believe in freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is there's a scale. One side is freedom, the other is government security. I'm not talking about national security. And the more quote-unquote government security you get, the less freedom you have. Now, that's just a fact. And when you have freedom, there comes some risk involved with that, but that is what made this country great. And that is why I want to go up and be your congressman for the 1st Congressional District. Thank you so much.